What is going on, everybody? Jacob here from the Nutrition Store, and every single day we're approached by people who tell us one of two things. I have a fast metabolism and I can't gain weight. I have a slow metabolism and that means I can't lose weight. Well, guys, I made a Facebook post yesterday talking about the fact that there is no such thing as metabolism. And what I really was trying to say is that metabolism is referencing a lot of systems and processes that goes into it. So really, saying you have a fast or slow metabolism is really only barely scraping the surface of it. So let's get into it and talk about exactly why. Right? Now, guys, one thing to note here is when we're referring to metabolism in this video, we're talking about metabolic rate, aka the amount of energy consumed and expended in the body, as well as hormonal and chemical processes. So let's talk about the definition of metabolism really quick. Metabolism refers to any or all chemical interactions within living creatures required to sustain life. Now, that can mean a lot of things, guys. You know, drug metabolism, the way in which enzymatic secretions go on in your liver, your kidneys, your pancreas, etc., can determine how well you break down a substance, right? So we're not going to be referring to that. We're talking about why you're fat or why you're skinny. Let's think about how one loses and gains weight, first of all. Calorie expenditure, right? You're either in a caloric surplus or caloric deficit. A surplus meaning you're eating more food every single day than your body naturally burns and you're gaining weight. A deficit is the opposite. So what factors go into that determine your metabolism, okay? It's not just one thing. When we consume food, there is this thing called the thermic effect of food, aka TEF. How many calories and how much heat is required to break down said energy from the food you're consuming is actually burning calories. That has an effect on your metabolism. So the thermic effect of food of protein is around 30%. That's why we always recommend a high protein diet, because around 30% of the calories consumed from protein will be burned via heat. Whereas I think carbs is 8%, fat's like 3%. So that's kind of why you're gonna see a lower thermic effect there. It's easier to store fat from those two macronutrients. Also, ease of digestion, aka the absorption of said foods, right? Guys, if you're lactose intolerant, how well do you think you're breaking down those specific proteins? Probably not very well. If you have certain allergies that causes inflammation in your GI tract and it puts you on the shitter all day long, are you actually absorbing those calories and using them properly? The answer is probably no. So guys, that has an effect on your caloric intake, aka your metabolic rate and expenditure throughout the day. Let's also talk about something that goes into your metabolism, which is your activity. What do you do for a living? Are you on your feet all day? How long is that going on? This is all a component of your said fast or slow metabolism. So if you're one of these people who comes to us and says, I have a slow metabolism, I can't lose weight, well, ask yourself, am I sitting on my ass all day for the most part? Or am I just eating like shit for the most part? And you're just using the word metabolism to blame that? Doesn't really work that way. How much heat are you expending throughout the day? Are you a sweater? Also, respiration rate. Are you breathing heavy? Are you doing a lot of intense endurance style activity, whether it's on your feet all day or running, etc.? That has a role in oxygen turnover and therefore calorie burn. Lifestyle. Lifestyle refers to anything outside of your exercise, your day-to-day activity, right? How do you live? NEAT, let's talk about non-exercise activity-induced thermogenesis. Those are the little things that your body does to burn calories at rest. So when you're sitting still, when you're watching that Netflix movie, you ever notice your feet are tapping? You ever notice that you like to chew gum a lot? You ever do something with your hands? You ever put your hat back and forth like I do 20,000 times a day? That contributes to NEAT. Also, your sleep habits. Let me just say, your sleep habits, how consistently you're getting your enough sleep, your REM cycles, your deep sleep to produce growth hormone, insulin-like growth factor 1, to contribute to your entire metabolic rate is very important, okay? And I said exercise here, but we kind of touched up on that. That plays a role in energy expenditure. Gender, sex, whatever you want to call it, same thing, right? We're talking about biological sex, all right? I'm not talking about how you feel. Hormonal differences. It's just factual, guys. It's biology. Men are going to produce high amounts of testosterone, which is directly associated with thermogenesis. There's a higher calorie burn associated with high testosterone levels. Whereas estrogen, high amounts of estrogen in women and in men can be associated with things like, being more lazy, a little bit more lethargic. One thing we always tell guys over the age of 35 or 40 is that you need to go get blood work done, right? You need to be getting your hormone panels done, because if you are suboptimal in a lot of those levels, it can contribute and have an effect on this entire thing that is metabolism, right? Your genetics also play a role. As much as we hate to admit it, some people have shitty genetics. It just is the way that it is. You can blame your parents, you can blame their parents, whatever. it does play a role. But understanding all this and how metabolic rate plays a role in your body composition can help you avoid that, right? There's a lot of factors that contributes to this, guys, but I made this on the fly. Body weight. If you're a fat person, if you're over fat, I'm not gonna go off of BMI, but if you have a body fat percentage higher than 25% or 30%, you don't have a slow metabolism. Your metabolic rate is probably higher than the regular person. You're carrying around all this extra pound, all this extra weight every single day. That requires energy. Your thermogenesis is through the roof. If anything, you have the advantage, but you're gonna have to cut back on the eating portion of it, because odds are you're eating enough to match that high metabolic rate. You ever notice how people who are extremely heavy lose weight almost extremely fast and then they hit that wall? It's probably due to that, right? Same thing with high amounts of muscle mass, guys. More muscle mass means more required blood flow and to each muscle cell, which means more energy expended sitting at rest, right? It kind of goes into that NEAT. Why did I make this video? Well, the post really took off. People liked it. They wanted to know more. And also, we're getting tired of hearing just my metabolism causes this, right? It's an excuse. It's really saying, I just haven't tried hard enough to understand why I'm not gaining or losing weight. And guys, I'm here to tell you, it's not one thing, it's a lot of things, okay? Thanks so much for watching. I hope this has provided some kind of education and value to you. And as always, you can come in, talk with us, ask any questions. We're here to help.